this with these young gentlemen and the folks in the audience. What I would first say is that over the last 3 months when this program started, and this is the first of its kind here, we went through quite a few folks. The evaluation was long and hard when we started this back in January. We had narrowed it down to 5 people, of which one is not here. But the program now works for Mark. So we got something out of it, very positive today. Beyond that, what I would say is we put these 4 gentlemen through a lot. We ran them through each one of the departments, including mine. We made sure that they worked long and hard hours. And so I'm somewhat going to be anxious to hear what they're going to say. Having said that, I think it was very good and worked well because we kind of did a typical dry run this morning because I wanted to hear what they would have to say. But I was very pleasantly surprised because at the end of that conversation, the question that I put to them, and I'm sure you may as well, is you had to do it over again, would you come back? And the answer was absolutely. So with that, what I'd like to do is I'll turn it over to Mr. Mike and make a few comments about this because, again, there's very few companies in and around here that have interns like this, especially a water company. Midway doesn't do this. Belfry doesn't do this. We're setting a trend for everybody else. So I appreciate the board's support for this because we've never done it before. The previous board, I can't say what they would or would not have done, but this board was full support day one. And I'm very thankful for Miss Melissa. Where's Corey? Everybody said Corey's got a jacket on. I've never seen him. So I'm very thankful for the efforts that they put in because it was weekends and holidays. And then more so, I'm proud of these 4 gentlemen because of the sacrifice and efforts that they put. So that, Mr. Kennedy.
Thanks, sir. Gentlemen.
And you use that term loosely.
Well, they're more so than we are.
I'm great to that.
When this first came up, it was such a really interesting idea that, I'm kind of envious looking at the young faces here at the beginning of your careers or whatever it is. And the fact that you had the opportunity to learn from some of the industry leaders here, customer service, wastewater, water, electrical, business, HR, right? So I'm very happy with the board for being able to provide you with this opportunity. And I really stress to you that I hope that you look at this as such an opportunity to be able to learn what it is to be out in the real world. As you're in high school and in college, you guys are really spoon-fed. And the real world out here demands that you actually know what you're doing. We have experts here that know what they're doing, and that you deliver on what you're supposed to know what you're doing. So I hope that you got a little taste of that. And again, we're looking forward to seeing how well you do in your future. And I want to thank the staff for their time to be out here to mentor our next future. So again, thank you so much to staff for doing that. And congratulations on surviving. So.
Thank you, Mike. So proud to be part of the inaugural year of the internship program here. Our internship is really kind of unique because we didn't just bring them in as volunteers, we brought them in as employees. From the very beginning, applying for the job, going through the interviews, the onboarding process, and then them behaving as employees. They had their schedules, they showed up on time, and they were assigned to a manager. And Dealing was assigned to IT with Chris Bond. Alex was assigned to me, HR admin, and then Joe and Noah were both assigned to Corey as engineering interns. And I've got to tell you, the next class, the classes after that, have a very high bar to match. These guys have been so involved, so enthusiastic, and I feel like they've learned quite a bit. I know that I had some of them work on an IT project for HRIS, Human Resources System. And then also some of them wrote their own job description for junior engineers coming into the workforce. And so I'm really proud that they did such a good job working for me. And I know they did for everybody, all the department managers that were out there. They got that first-hand experience in their area of focus, but then going to each department, I think gave them a great overview of how a water utility functions. So I think they're coming away with a lot more than just a little bit of knowledge about their area of focus. And I want to congratulate you for doing such a great job and being part of this first class of interns. So now we're going to start. You guys are going to tell us about what you learned. And I was so proud to hear earlier as we talked with Dr. Dallas about your experiences. So I'm really glad that you're having a chance to talk to the group about what you've learned and your experience here. So if you would start us off, Dylan Nicholas.
And I would ask, because these gentlemen have seen the way the board does things, the way we do things, I would ask you to step up to the podium.
Messed it up.
See how quickly they respond to something being broken?
Hey everyone, my name is Dylan and I'm 19. I'm going to my third year in Palm Beach State as a computer engineer. I wanted to take this IT program to see the hardware side because I've been learning mostly software in my schooling. And I really enjoy getting to get in the bits of the computers and setting up everybody's PCs, setting up the servers, setting up Microsoft accounts, adding programs and stuff. And it's been really fun. And I enjoyed going into different programs and learning about the different aspects of going into the water system. Like SCADA, I really enjoyed that part, programming different, what do you call, fuse boxes or stuff, Mr. Mark, right?
You did some Pro Logic, and then you also do some RTUs.
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool stuff. And yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed my time here, and thank you guys for taking care of me.
Before you leave, Dylan, I will say, was one of the interns that actually spent time out in the middle of the field. They actually, Chris utilized him for everything he could think of. As did Clinton and his group. So they actually got to do weeding. Wasn't one of the favorite things, I'm sure. But the other was that they actually got to work on some of the heavy equipment. Clinton then put them in and around the pipe, and they were digging holes, and they were, repairing leaks. So we're very happy that, whatever it took, as Mark was saying, they would climb down in the hole, climb in the ditch, climb on the equipment, climb on a weed eater. He did a great job. So we're very proud of him. Any questions from the group, from the board? Any questions about this? Don't ask him who was his favorite, because I'm sure he's going to say Chris. Which department did you find the most interesting? Or the second question I would ask this of all of you, what did you see differently from when you originally came here, right? When you all were accepted, you had a visual or thought about what this company was.
Right. I thought that you would just get water, send it out, but actually there's a lot that goes into politics, business, where
Politics? Did you say politics?
what you call concerning customers and environment. It's a lot of work, and it's pretty interesting.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Alex Garcia.
Now, how many of you gentlemen recognize the film? I know you did. Joe, lift your head up. Don, you may have seen the film.
I didn't know there was going to be a microphone in this, so this is a little new for me. How y'all doing? Sweet. So I'm Alex. Alex Aviles. I'm going to my senior year at Navarre High. I entered this program kind of almost not accidentally, but in a funny way. I was actually just picking my mom up for coffee, and Dr. Dallas stopped me in the hallway. He's like, "Son, what do you want to do when you get out of school?" I said, "I'm going to the Air Force." He said, "Absolutely not." He said, "What are you going to do for schooling?" I was like, "Well, the Air Force will pay for my schooling." He said, "Absolutely not." And so I started here after I onboarded, and it's been a really great experience. I've been under Dr. Dallas for a lot of the time, learning about business and interacting with the community. I've been starting Instagram accounts for the Hidden Creek at the golf club, and I've been interacting with a lot of the golfers who live here, a lot of the locals, and I really enjoy it because you get to see a lot of like our community's thoughts and opinions on things, and they're just as valid as the reasons we have for doing the things we do here, and it's important to have both of those in mind. So
What did you see, what did you think this company, well, you had the inside track because your mom is sitting over there. But outside of her thoughts, what did you think about the company and what did you realize once you come on board?
okay, so no disrespect at all, but I just thought that this place was like a bunch of like people in a square room, like punching numbers into a computer, calling people. But I got here, and it's a lot more than that. You're building relationships with the people the community, and then the people here, and the people outside of the company. Like when you're looking for new software for HR, or when you're reaching out for help for community support. There's so many things that goes into it, and I it has to have all of these departments, all of these experts in every field, because it cannot work without one part.
Questions from anybody? What didn't you like?
The smell. No, I mean there wasn't one part that I really didn't like. It's just different. Everywhere is just different. I didn't go into a lot of departments because I went into the CEO's department, but I did go into customer service, and that was out of like the 3 or 4 departments I went into, that would probably be at the bottom out of like fun rating. All right, but
Why?
just because it was so much, I only did like one order, and I can't even remember one step now. It's so much. I can't. There's just like paper, and like I need a phone or something.
So do you have appreciation for what customer service does?
I do. And it's a lot more. I thought customer service, working at Subway was just talking to a guy, making a sandwich. I come here, and customer service is a little more complicated than that, if you could imagine. But I mean, I have more respect for everyone here since I started working here. I think it's safe to say that I'm not going to the Air Force. I'm not going to the Air Force now. No, sir.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Joseph Stock, he was one of the engineering interns.
Good evening, everyone. As she said, my name is Joseph Stout, and I'm going into my second year studying environmental engineering at North Carolina State. That's the red one, not the blue one. Lots of people get confused by that. But moving forward, I think my experience in this internship is characterized by 2 things. One of those being, and they'll definitely say as well, organizing the database, all the hard copy files for the construction plans, the preliminary plans, the plats, the as-built, getting to see those steadily shrink down, get those organized digitally, has been something super rewarding because there are these thousands and thousands of sheets of paper that we've scanned, organized, assigned project numbers. So that's been very cool for me. It's been very rewarding, as well as a lot of the experience that I've had has been able to get a sneak peek into what I'll be studying at school. Because as I said, I'm just going in my second year, so I haven't had the opportunity to get a lot of those hardcore engineering classes. Just a lot of prereqs, calc, physics, chemistry, stuff like that. But I have been able to see some of those, be applied. I think it was my second or third day here. I had the opportunity to go to a lift station, and I heard all the technicians talking about, flow rate, pressure. And I was like, wow, I learned about that in my physics class not a month ago. So that was very cool to see the applications of those classes, but also being able to get a sneak peek into what I'll be studying, down the road. I think the second part that my experience in the internship can be characterized by is definitely a lot of the soft skill development that I've had. For example, I've had the opportunity to sit in on a lot of the weekly business meetings. I was able to witness, the managers really demonstrate effective communication, leadership, definitely relying on your team, not having to do all the work yourself is something that I've definitely learned a lot about. And not to mention just the approach of leaning on your peers as well as something that you see leadership strategies of people just, doing all the things themselves. But when you have trust in your team, you're able to get a lot done. You're really able to be super effective in your leadership roles. And I also was able to learn so much more about the business side of the water system. I came in kind of, thinking I was going to be doing a lot of, water distribution, wastewater treatment. And then I had the opportunity to go and tour different departments, follow and sit in on different meetings, as I said. And just learning about the business side of things has been something very interesting for me. And it opened up, an entire new aspect of the water company that I, was not aware of, but I was able to learn so much about.
Any questions? No, he hadn't said anything about the Air Force.
Well, the same question, what was your favorite or most liked aspect?
I think what I learned in the beginning, and I was like sitting in on these meetings and I had no idea what any of these people were talking about. And then towards the end of the program, I had the opportunity to sit in on an interview at the club, and they were talking about, the RFP for the restaurant. They were talking about the operating system for the golf course. And I was like watching things that I had, worked on in procurement and admin and HR, and seeing that come full circle has been something very cool for me. Just, being able to see how much I've learned and being able to apply that.
What's the one question now know how to answer in an interview?
What are you bad at? Yeah. Yes.
Weaknesses, and then how you mitigate that with
Exactly.
the strength.
Anything else? Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Not least, Noah Cruz, our other engineering.
How loudly do we have to speak into this? Is this solid? All right, good. My name is Noah Cruz. I am entering my 4th year at the University of Central Florida. I'm in civil engineering, and I came into this internship with a very foggy idea of where I was going to narrow my aim, because in this program, we have to choose 3 different depth areas and then pursue one in the end. I've chosen geotechnical engineering, transportation, as well as water resources, and I've always had difficulty choosing between the 3. And I can confidently say with this internship, I am definitely narrowing myself to water resources, because I think I know it's an important thing that must be taken care of, and giving water to people is a very, very tough responsibility. And I think that craving of responsibility would help motivate me to finish my last year at school. So I appreciate that from you guys.
Any questions?
Same question,
Favorite part?
favorite part, where'd you glean?
I think starting off, finding something that was comfortable was really good to help me feel more at home in this company. And it was something as simple as scanning plans. And then that moved into scanning more plans, and then a little bit more. And then after a couple thousand odd scans, then we were able to input that into the database and seeing everything that was not needed thrown into the garbage can and everything that we needed to save locked away in the safe box. It was a really satisfying thing to see. And knowing that it would most likely and hopefully be very helpful for everyone who works here. It was something that was really, really rewarding.
He's extremely polite because we'd be sitting for his office where he was at the back corner over there. He would get up and leave. He'd make sure he knocked before he came back in the door. So I give him a hard time.
I think I stopped doing that like 3 weeks ago.
I do want to point out to all of you interns, 2 of you are now scanning experts. And how do you become an expert in anything? You do it 1,000 times. I could. And now, so congratulations.
I appreciate that.
Any other questions? I would ask this group, thank you very much. Gentlemen, the question I would ask is, what is the business, or what is the purpose of our business? What is the most important thing we do? Anybody?
There you go.
What is the most important thing to us outside of water? Do you have to make money to stay in business? Yeah. All right. You have to control your costs to stay in business. I know that young man right there, as he said, he sat in several meetings with Miss Deb at procurement where he said, I don't want to hear that anymore. I learned so much. His head was hurting because she was just beating on people on the prices of the different materials that we use. So he's picked up upon that. So we want to make sure that, and we've invited them, for the most part, back next summer, and they're wrapping up. And our goal, hopefully, is that when they finish their time in school, university, or colleges, that we'll get an opportunity to utilize the skill sets that we provide for them. They're now, for the most part, from this area, the locals. We've appreciated them being here. We're thankful that you took it seriously. We didn't have any instances of any kind for these poor gentlemen. And that's hard to do for the summer when you have 3 college and high school students, right? We're very proud to have had you gentlemen here. We're very proud that you'll come back and participate, because the next group that we have coming in the holidays or next summer, we hope that you'll continue to set the path forward for them. Because what we're looking for is not just to help you, we're trying to help ourselves. We're trying to help the Clintons, the Marks, the Corys, the Ashleys, the Amber, the customer service stuff. Sam, you heard that. So the Chris's. Not everybody wants to do this. Not everybody can do this. But we hope that you learned something that was valuable. We hope that it's a skill set you'll take back to school, and that you'll understand the value of what it is this company does. We're on the same page? All right. Miss Melissa, with that, I'll turn it over to you to wrap this up.
Thank you all for coming today to hear about our internship program and what an amazing job these guys did. I just can't tell you how impressed I am with them. When I was their age, we weren't doing the things that they did while they were here, and their work ethic.
Yeah, so before we wrap this up, what I would do is I would ask each one of the managers that if you had a chance to work with any of these or the group of these, any comments?
I have one. In my previous role in healthcare, I had the opportunity to mentor several graduate nurses pursuing advanced degrees. And I have to say, this group of interns really rocked my world. The level of maturity, the level of just the craving for the knowledge they brought was just so welcoming. And to know that we as leaders were able to give them, but y'all gave us something in return. And I want y'all to know that. We appreciate greatly what y'all brought to the table for us as well, because it was very valued. And I thank y'all, because I hope we did right by y'all, because y'all certainly brought some great skill sets to us, and we appreciate that.
Chris, anything to add?
Apologize to Dylan about the weed. Having Dylan there, I don't think any of the guys were planning much more than Dylan was for the week, but he stepped up. I mean, everything from weed eating to the lab work to lead operator reports. He did everything with us. It was a pleasure having him.
I'll say one thing, that Chris saved me, Dylan, because he says, whatever you do, don't put him cleaning the lift station. But I want to say he was there during, matter of fact, the first day, I believe when we began the integration, the planning of VP SCADA, and I was watching him as he was, what the engineers were all discussing it, and I was watching him be engaged in that, and I was impressed with it. Unfortunately, the next phase is next Wednesday, I think, and he said he wanted to be there, but he wanted to be a part of that, but I don't know that he'll be there. If he is, you're welcome to it. And I will say, the others I didn't work with, but Noah I worked with in many days, and I want to say his attention to detail was close to equivalent to Corey Schneider. I mean, it really was. It was close. I'd say it was the, and I know Corey was training in it, but I was really impressed about the detail of the packages that you developed. I appreciate it.
Chris?
Yeah, experience with Noah and Dylan. Pretty awesome. Great experience. Noah had organized entire parts of the department into different sections. It was pretty powerful. Like huge. Help that was. Then Dylan learned about implementation, hardware implementation, and just following it. That'll help him greatly. It's a great help. And we'll continue to be very excited for the program.
Ms. Ashley?
I didn't do Noah justice when we were together, but Joseph and I think, had a pretty good experience. We got to nerd out together on some like population and utility investment data, and that was actually, I thought it was a fun day. I learned a lot.
Ms. Amber?
They all listed by department. But because we're basically like 3 departments in one, it felt really short. So, then we gave them a taste of all 3, customer service, billing, and with the field service techs. I think Noah got the run on the field service tech day because it was a turn-off day for him. So we stuck him in the truck with the guys, and we went and turned customers off for non-payment that day, which I'm sure was quite an interesting experience. I would like to have had more time so that they could see more, but I think they got a little bit of an understanding of how everything works together.
Fortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to work one-on-one with any of these guys. They did visit Brian yesterday, being a bit sure. And I know that he was very excited to have a chance to get on excavator and dig some holes. Fortunately, he didn't carry anything else to be able to deal with that.
So maybe so.
That's right.
Mr. Corey, final thought.
I think they undersold what they did by saying they just scanned plans.
Because if you gentlemen, anybody, as you leave the building tonight, look back for all those rows and hangers full of drawings.
Drawings.
And
And
did a lot of work.
2 months ago, there was a water main break in the field. I get a phone call from the field operations crew, and they'd be looking for plans because there's some kind of hidden utility, like a valve that they can't find to turn the water off. And as of pretty much today or yesterday, those field guys can click on this interactive map and pull up the plans on the tablet within 2 minutes, and that saves them having to go back and forth to the shop to find the correct size part. So the amount of time that's going to save the field guys is immeasurable. Didn't just scan, y'all did an awesome job.
They did a great job.
And that was very important to help complete the diamond map plan or get it closer to completion. And so that is a great help. So just scanning that wasn't just something to do mundane. It was actually
It was a purpose on it.
Correct.
Thank you.
want to thank the interns for helping me develop the job description for junior engineer, just in case the occasion ever arises to hire one. And also for helping with the software selection process, the human resources information system that you helped out with. It's going to make a big difference, as Corey mentioned, to the success of the company. So thank you for that. And I want to thank all the department managers that really pitched in and helped out by taking the time to mentor these young folks, and also the board members that helped make this possible and also spent time with some of the interns. So I want to thank you all. And to wrap up, I guess you guys can tell I'm a proud mom, so I'm clicking pictures. I would like it if we could have the department managers, board members, and the interns all come up in front of the chair so I can get a big